Hello, and welcome to the Higher View Podcast, the podcast dedicated to the creative, the outside thinker, and the believer. If this is your first time to the show, we want to welcome you. This is a podcast where we just go over a lot of different topics, a lot of world topics, a lot of creative topics, and we just like to get in deep conversations. This is my co-host, permanent co-host, my better half and wifey. She is always here with me, my sidekick in this, and this is our podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in. Once again, like I said, if this is your first time tuning in, listening, watching, wherever you're doing that, we are also on YouTube. But if you can subscribe, push us through wherever you can, that would greatly help us out. And thank you in advance.
Yeah.
This episode is especially catered to you creatives out there. But before we get into that, how's your day going? Gotta check on the wifey.
Yeah, my day is so good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've had a very good day because we got a second car.
The life has been changed.
And today was the official day of not, because Mondays I'm usually off, so I didn't feel it Monday. I mean, kind of did because I had an extra car to go do whatever I wanted. But today, I didn't even have to worry about picking you up from work, so I was able to do a whole, beautiful color and not be stressed out at the salon when I need to come get you. And I just, yeah.
So for the past 6 months, 7,
I'm not sure.
I think it's been about that long. Ever since I've gotten this new job.
Yeah.
I think it's about 7 months. But for the past 7 months, Lexus has been driving 3 hours a day just to pick me up all the way in Carrollton, which is about 40 minutes from where we live now. Her salon is 30 minutes away from here on the opposite side of town. So if she has a client, she has to go that way. And she also has her other part-time job that she does as well.
Which the schools are about 30 minutes from our house. So it was a lot.
It was a lot of driving.
This is a big deal.
Yeah. So there has been a weight lifted off us stress-wise just by getting this second car. Now I have a way to get to work and have alone time to myself, which is also a big thing.
Yeah.
So it's just been a really, really good step towards just getting things done in a more efficient and better way.
Yes, I agree.
It's been a very, very life-changing moment.
Even for our marriage.
And this is only the second day.
Yeah, for real. Even for our marriage, when I would call you on the phone to ask you, yeah, you want me to pick up some pizza or something? Yeah. It was just nice to hear your voice. I haven't seen you all day.
Yeah, I literally woke up when you called me.
It was fine, what? But usually we see each other all the time. So now we have some room to miss each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. You want me to miss you? I gotta have some time to miss you. I can't just miss you when I'm out around you 25/8.
Yeah, but how's your day going?
My day's pretty good. Work, pretty normal. Not too crazy, not too slow. But we are switching things up at work. I honestly haven't told you any of this yet, but my job's about to be a lot easier.
For real?
A lot easier.
That's awesome.
So that's really, really cool. But that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to our trip.
Yes.
I've been thinking about that pretty often.
Literally next weekend.
Yep. Is it? Yeah, it is. Wow.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's been pretty good. Right now I'm on call for work. So if there's emergencies, I have to handle them. Obviously, I wouldn't handle it on the show while we're recording, but yeah, I'm on call right now. But other than that, awesome. Been pretty good. Everything's been pretty good. Like I said, another just a weight of stress off of my shoulders and yours, just knowing that you don't have to make that drive anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been good. I know being at the salon doing a color at this time is so unusual.
Yeah.
It's this has never happened.
What do you mean?
You being at the salon and being able to just be around, whatever you need to do,
Yeah, I did a 5-hour color because it was a whole transformation and she went purple.
Yeah.
So there's a process to that. But yeah, I was able to do that without stress.
Yeah.
And it was really nice.
But so what we're going to be getting into probably the most anticipated topic that I've wanted to talk about on this podcast. And I'm surprised we haven't done it yet, honestly. We probably should have done one of the earlier ones, but timing is just right because we probably have a little more better experience under our belt, coming up with episodes and how to build them and stuff. But we're talking about creativity, and one of the things that I dislike hearing from people and not to start negative with this topic, but
Don't.
people can say, "Oh, I'm not creative." Like it's just not. I don't know. Like I'm just not creative. You know, like I don't know. Like that's mostly of what they say. Like I don't know. Like it's just not me.
I just don't have that.
So what we're trying to put on the table here is creativity is you. Creativity is literally in you. So you can't say that you're not creative. Creativity, the basic definition is creativity is you doing things and not knowing the end result, having changes and not knowing the end result. So if you tell me that you're not creative, really what you're telling me is you're not comfortable with change. You don't want to have change. You need everything to be how it is. That's basically what I'm picking up if you tell me that you're not creative. As we were kind of just digging into stuff this weekend and this week about this podcast, I was coming across some studies. Coming across studies like people just studying creativity, people talking about like how it works in the brain, how they're trying to measure it. And there's so many different studies out there. By the way, if you ever like look that up, you're gonna get lost because there's like probably 20 different ones that I came across. Literally all said something different. But there was a couple things that I just came across and was like, wow, this is really, really interesting. So someone said that we have an aversion of creativity, towards creativity. So let's say, do you know what an aversion is?
No.
So an aversion, it's like literally like the opposite. Okay. So let's say heaven. The aversion of heaven is hell. Mm-hmm. Positive. The aversion of positive is negative.
Okay.
So that's the aversion. We have not knowing consciously, but subconsciously, and most of the time it's like unwillingly, like we don't really know that we do this, but we have an aversion to creativity. And what I mean by this, so let's say at work or in school or wherever you work, whoever you're around often, you could even be like family members. Everybody wants to be the person coming up with innovative ideas. Everybody wants to be the creative person. Everybody wants to have the next invention, so we crave to be innovative. We crave to be creative. But when the person next to you is doing that, subconsciously, it's like, dang, like, it's kind of like a disgust.
Like a jealousy feeling.
Like a jealousy feeling. Like I kind of wish that was me. Like, why couldn't I think of that? It should have been me. Like, that was such an easy invention. Like, I could have thought of that.
That's such an egotistic
Yeah,
thing.
It is. It is. But doing that towards other people's creativity is really deterring ourselves away from creativity. It's putting, so to speak, like a creative block. And it's making us get further and further away from our own creativity.
I definitely agree with the creative block, because when you're like, that's kind of in the same category as comparison. Mm-hmm. And when you see the person next to you and they're doing creative things and they're, nourishing their business and they're growing more and they're just doing things. It always seems like they're doing the next thing in their life. Mm-hmm. It seems like, oh, that person, they're this, they have this under their belt. Like they have this certification. They have, just think about all the different things like one person can do over their period of lifetime. You're like, dang, they have all that stuff under their belt. Like, where do I even start? Mm-hmm. But it's like when you start comparing, it's like a creative block right away. You start to downgrade your ability to be able to create. So I definitely agree to that.
Yeah. There was also this other study, which I thought this was really, really interesting as well. So it was like a group study, and they do this like pretty often. Like they have like a group of people and they'll just like test their reactions to certain things. So they got two different groups, and it was one group, but they split it up into two. There was one group they put in a room, and then the other one they put in a separate room. One group they told, okay, this group is going to have like, we're going to go through the challenge, or we're going to go through the test. But at the end, there is a probability of somebody or a couple people winning a bonus, but it's going to be at random. So nobody knows how you're going to get it, how you can win it, or who's going to get it. It's going to be at random. The other group got told nothing. They got no opportunity of a bonus or anything like that. So the group that got told that they could get a bonus was introduced to uncertainty, because it's going to be at random. They don't know how they can win it. They don't know how they're going to earn it. They don't know who's going to get it. It's uncertain. So it's an uncertain environment now. Now, the group that didn't get introduced to uncertainty, now they have the same kind of test that, they have the same kind of test going on. So what they did is they gave them words like, they gave them creative words and the A version of them, like the total opposite of them. They gave them words like sunshine, and the opposite of that would be agony, heaven and hell, stuff like that. So like the total opposites of words. And what they found is people that were associated with the uncertainty of getting a bonus, or they gave the uncertainty atmosphere. Now they're more associative with the A version of the creative words. So now the uncertainty is causing them to gravitate more towards the negative words. Now the people that were in a room where there wasn't any uncertainty, there's like no understanding that something is uncertain. Now they are gravitating towards more the creative words. What this study kind of shows for people that are kind of, going down this rabbit hole with me, it shows that people are not comfortable with uncertainty. They get unsettled with uncertainty.
It's like not right when they feel that uncertainty feeling of not knowing what's next or how to get there. Like you see like a blank canvas, like we can use a painting, for example. You see a blank canvas and you're like, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to put on that canvas. Like, I don't know. And then it's the uncertainty, and then you start getting in your head and being negative instead of just going for it and letting your creativity flow and watch it become something.
So if you didn't have the uncertainty, but you just started with the creative notion of painting, then you're not gonna second guess it.
Yeah.
Because there's no uncertainty. So it was really cool.
That's a really interesting study for like the brain and how our brain works. Like when you put negativity there, we're going to feed off of negativity. But when you have a direction for like positivity to happen, then it's like creativeness. So we could use that example with taking, like, let's go back for a moment whenever we were talking about how, what's the word? Aversion. Towards other people. So like when they are creating things and then we get that creative block because of like envy or jealousy or just like, the flesh kind of, the natural flesh feelings that we get sometimes. That's the uncertainty, because we see what other people are like doing. We see what they're creating. And then now we have uncertainty in our brain. Like, well, what about me? Like, what can I create? And things like that. And I think that's definitely the pride, the flesh talking.
Yeah.
I think it's the way we can separate that is be like being happy for those people that are creating, like, oh, that's awesome. And then get inspired by their creativity. It's like a switch that we need to like make in our brain. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like the inspiration behind this, because when I was reading about this and learning that really like the human nature has an aversion to creativity, then it gives me inspiration to speak about it and say, like, we needed like a new lens about this. We can't like look at it like that, because if we're doing that, then we're just going to end up in a place where we're just not close to creativity at all. And really, creativity is in us. Yeah. We talk biblically here. We talk about the Bible. We live by the Bible. God says that we're made in his image. Okay, check this out. Okay, I got to show you guys this. I'm ready.
So there is, just to show some background of like showing like the creativity of God and what he's created. So there is registered 200 different dog breeds, 10,000 different types of birds around the world, and 400,000 different types of flowers. So the God who created it all inspired the innovation of all creation. So if he created so many different types of species of flowers, birds, dogs, of all the different animals and all the things on the earth, and he only created 2 different kind of species of humans, what position does that put us in?
I was like, what are the 2 different species?
Male and female, to be clear.
In my head, I was like, wait.
That just shows creativity is in you. If he pretty much gave us the responsibility of innovating on the earth. I mean, that's what he told Adam, like, go and, take care of the earth. And he had him name everything, him being creative and innovating and all this stuff. So just knowing that God created all that, created so many different species, created so many different things on the earth, created the stars as far as we know. We don't know what's all out there, but as far as we know the Bible talks about the stars. If you created all of that, then you created us to create. That just shows creativity is you.
Because we're literally made in his image.
Yes.
God made us in his image.
Creativity is you.
Boom.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, when I think about that, I think about how bees create honey without even thinking about it. That's just something that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So us as human beings, we just create. The way we carry ourselves is a creation. The way we dress ourselves every day, do our hair, that takes creativity to choose an outfit.
Yeah. The next person that says that they're not creative, just say, you dress yourself, right?
Or what about cooking?
Yeah, cooking, yeah.
Like that takes creativity. That uses that side of your brain of creativity. It's anybody can tap into that side of yourself. So I actually heard something on the radio, and it was before we even knew we were going to do this episode. And they were just talking about how 45 minutes a day, and it was studies and stuff, like it was like from a study, that 45 minutes a day of art or doing something creative for 45 minutes a day adds 10 years of life.
Wow. So
like actually, that, not even just like community and eating well and exercising. Like this is just doing art on its own.
Just something that's actually in us that we can actually do freely. Like there's no limit to it. There's no limit to creativity, which is like I had an epiphany the other day of like, there's literally no limit to like how much we can create. Like in our heads, we can think and innovate and create and do art, unlimited amounts. Mm-hmm. So doing things like that actually flourishes us, and that's crazy that they're saying that. Like I would like to know how they prove that, but that's really, really cool.
Just look up this study, I'm sure, if you really want to know. But speaking about this right now, like it's giving me the vision of, I just want to use a canvas, like the painting. Mm-hmm. If we don't do anything to a canvas, it's just going to stay white. The future is going to stay white. Like that canvas, five years from now, it's going to be blank. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be into anything. But if you start adding little art pieces at a time on there, if you want a big canvas and you just want to add a little art piece here, a little art piece there, let your children add an art piece and let your grandchildren add an art piece. Like it just goes. Think about what kind of art piece that will be in the future. It's not blank anymore because you started to create something out of it. So me saying that, it's just showing me that we create our future. Like we can either not create our future and just leave it as is, or we can create a future.
Yeah.
If you want your future to change. So when I was thinking about this, like what to talk about on this podcast with creativity, reminded me of modeling. If I really want to model, if I really want to make a difference in that industry and do something different in that industry, then I'm going to have to start creating towards that. I'm going to have to you build your portfolio, you do shoots, you just do what you need to do already, what's in your lap, which with your knowledge and all that stuff, and just do it. And then if I don't do anything, I'm not going to get anywhere with it. But if I start to do things with it, I'm going to get somewhere. So how bad do I want my future to have modeling in it?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, creativity is the foundation of innovation. So you have to innovate new ways to get out there in a godly manner, because the industry like that can be so dark.
Yeah.
It's mostly used for like darkness. So we have to be creative and innovate new ways to get out there. Same with anything else we do. We are here to innovate the world. I mean, like I'm gonna say it again, like we're the salt of the earth. Like
I really want to add on to that real quick.
Go ahead.
So sorry. But like God, since the biblical times, since God created man, we are here to be the light. Like you're saying, the salt of the earth. We're here to be the light of the world, light to others, light to the nations, light to our homes, to our children, to our families. Like we're supposed to be a light to anybody we come across. And so I feel like that goes through your creativity, because your creativity comes with the conversations you have, the way that you use your personality and the way that God created you. That's literally rooted in creativity. Creativity is in you. And so it's just so beautiful.
When you think about it, like growing up and learning new things, like from a child through kindergarten, through, like middle school, high school, you're innovating your own self. Like you're being creative and learning new things, learning new personality traits, learning how to do things, learning how to handle things, learning how to speak. languages, like all of that stuff is innovating yourself. But at the same time, you're being creative. Like I said, the foundation of innovation is creativity. So you're creating yourself. I mean, you're innovating yourself by being creative and learning all of these things, getting inspired by somebody doing that, learning how to do that. Maybe like, and it could be like both ways, like negative and positive. Like you pick up like bad and good things, but that's just, it just proves it right there. Like it's the same way.
I mean, I don't think everything's going to be positive all the time because we have to go through conflict to get on the other side of something good. It takes something hard to turn into something great and to learn and grow. I mean, that's just part of it. So I definitely recently have been understanding more of what this looks like, of not trying to run away from tension and conflict. Like, it's okay to have conflict. It's almost like get uncomfortable. Try to understand each other. Like, we're two different, like, just use marriage, for example. Like, we are two different people, two different brains that think differently. So it's like when we come together and try to understand each other, it's like there's going to be some tension there. And now we have to extend the grace and wanting to understand how your brain works. Yeah. Because that's creative. Like your brain's more like different creative than my brain's different.
And we both have to be creative in coming up with new ideas and innovating on how to approach each other different, how to speak different, how to handle this situations different. It's all, creativity is in all. It's in everything. Everything that's innovating, everything that's evolving, everything that's changing, it's creativity. At the baseline, it's creativity.
This is so good.
So once again, creativity is you.
Literally.
You're not a not creative person. You just have a subconscious thought towards, you just have a subconscious aversion thought towards creativity. And that's pushed you away, unknowingly pushed you away towards creativity.
Yeah.
So one thing I recommend, like, to gain your creativity thoughts back, I would say if you get creative thoughts, like if you have any ideas, like it doesn't even have to necessarily be labeled as a creative thought. But if you have ideas, if you get thoughts, write them down. Because at that point, you're catching them and your brain is now subconsciously making note of those, that they're standing out now. So now they're going to come more often and often. And you'll be like, well, now I'm coming up with new ways to do things. Now I see different things differently. Like, write them down. You gotta catch those things because they can go away as fast as you let them.
Just put a folder on your phone.
Exactly. Creative thoughts.
Creative thoughts, creative ideas. I definitely have multiple folders of different things because I forget that I had a folder and I'm just like, gotta get this down really quickly. And then I'm like, when am I ever gonna get to that? But it's okay. Like, I'm 23. Like, I have time to do one thing at a time. It's fine. I'll get to all the things I want to do. I just want to encourage you guys to don't downplay your passions and your gifts that are in you. You have those gifts and those passions and those desires. If it's a good thing, for a reason. I think we can have bad desires sometimes as human beings, but it's good to, check yourself with that. But just like, don't downplay the passions and the gifts that you have. No gift is bad. And so use your passions, use your gifts to be a blessing in this world. Like, you were created here for a reason, to be a blessing to others. So just go out there, just do it. Don't downplay it. Don't let comparison. I think comparison is the biggest thing to rob and steal and kill any dream, any creativity you have in yourself. Like, just switch it. Just be, wow, that's awesome that they're stepping up and creating something now. That encourages me to step up and create and make it your own. Don't compare and let that take over and create a creative block over yourself.
Yeah. I feel like I think we were definitely made to be creative to create. That way, like, we can evolve to where we need to be, to where, it's all planned out for sure. Like, God knows everything. God knows where we're going to end up. But I think he made us a certain way to get to where we needed to get. Like, we have a destination to get to. Like, the phone started off as a freaking cinder block to your head. Or computers, like, were freaking as big as the room they used to be. Yeah. So we've innovated and evolved so much through the years, like, because we were being creative And now we're in a different world. Like we live in a completely different world from years ago because people were innovating and being creative.
Yeah.
So we are destined to create. It's in us. We have to do it. Like we can't just not create. It's in us. Creativity is you.
I think there's also freedom in not creating for yourself. Like
Okay.
have creativity to do it for others. Have creativity to do it because God made you to create. Like you can do it in a way with him, not like in a self-righteous way. It's just like during self-care time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a shift that I had to make because I love self-care time. Well, you know, I just love it. But it's like, am I doing this self-care time for self-righteousness and for me to just be about me and myself and relax, which is fine, or am I doing it with him, with God, with my Savior? Like, this is a body that he gave me. This is a mind that he gave me. Like, he gave me this privilege to live here on earth and to have this creation that he created. So let me honor him in that way. Let me exercise because I need to take care of my body. Let me eat good and not bad because I need to take care of my body that he's given me. So it's like, it's about him. It's about others. You know, I'm wanting to stay strong and healthy so I can live a good, healthy life for my children and to be able to be there for them, present and strong, and let's go, let's do this. Or am I gonna like disintegrate slowly?
Disintegrate. No, yeah, I like that. Create outwards, you know, like create for others. So I think that's really cool. I never really thought about it from that perspective. That's really cool. But yeah, I think that was pretty cool, man. I really learned a lot during this study. Like I really, really did. And it gave me a new outlook on how to view creativity and really just not downplay it. Like it really is a key role in life. Like it's an essential thing. I would say it's an essential thing, as essential as breathing. It's the most vital thing that's gotten us to where we are now. Like creativity is everything. Creativity is why we are here. Literally.
So everything.
It's an essential thing. It's a very, very essential thing, and it's just really opened my eyes to a lot. And I'm grateful for this episode. This is a good one.
I'm excited to listen to it.
But we're gonna wrap this up. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed and were able to partake and take at least something from this episode, because we definitely did, for sure. But until then, we're gonna see you guys next week. Always remember that you are creativity. And we'll see you guys next week. See things from a higher view. We love you.
See you guys.